Hi there. I'm just going to leave this in here to warm up. I'm going to be making some cornbread. You can stay in there if you want. You alright there guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's get started straight away by making our very own buttermilk yet again. So, into 300 milliliters of whole milk, you want to add just a touch of vinegar, just to sour it, leave it to the side, and it'll start to curdle. Then into that cast iron skillet that we left in the oven to get nice and hot, we're going to throw 90 grams of butter. Let it get nice and melted. We want to start browning this butter, as brown butter is more flavour and it brings some nice nutty notes to the dish. So go ahead and leave that back in the oven to get nice and brown, while into a bowl we pour 240 grams of fine corn flour, along with 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and this is completely optional, but we're also going to add a teaspoon of cheese powder. This is dried cheese that's been blitzed really fine. And also along with a teaspoon of chicken stock for a kind of umami flavour. Then add a touch of cracked black pepper and give it all a good mix together before you add 2 large eggs. But I only had small eggs, so I just added 2 extra egg yolks, which brought a really nice richness to the dish. And give that a good mix together till it starts forming some nice little crumbs. Then we can start adding our soured milk back into it, a little bit at a time until it gets incorporated. Keep going until you've added it all and you get a nice silky smooth looking mixture. Then bring back the pan from the oven and add nearly all the butter into the mixture. It's okay to add this warm, but you see it's nice and brown. But you want to leave a little bit into the cast iron, because once you've mixed it all around together, we're going to be pouring this straight back into the hot cast iron. This will almost cause like a crust on the outside and it'll become really nice and crispy but soft on the inside. Once you've got it in your pan, give it a little jiggle. We're going to stick it in the oven at 180 degrees for about 45 minutes, or until it looks something like this, and when inserted a skewer comes out nice and clean. Then slice yourself off a big chunk and just look at that up close. It's so nice and spongy, really airy, absolutely incredible. But then top it with a touch of butter and make sure it's nice and melted before you dig in. Cut yourself off a bit, try it and see how fluffy this is. But I think we can do better. So, into a hot cast iron skillet goes 90 grams of butter yet again, and back into the oven to go nice and brown. And this time we're only going to use 180 grams of corn flour, because we're going to top the rest up with 60 grams of normal flour. And then we're going to add the same again as half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. Then sprinkle in 60 grams of granulated sugar and 60 grams of pecans nicely broken up. Give that a little mix before we go in with 3 whole eggs. And it's the same as before, but we're adding the milk a little bit at a time after we've got a nice little crummy mixture. Then we're going to add the secret ingredient of 300 grams of cajeta. Cajeta, if you don't know, is literally just dulce de leche, or just sweet milk, like a caramel made from milk. But this is from goat's milk. It's also known as leche quemada, and it's literally burned milk. We're going to mix that all in together and you get a nice brown colour. Don't forget to add your butter in, and then we're going to pour it straight into the cast iron skillet. Give it another little shake, and then straight into the oven for the same time, 180 degrees for 45 minutes, until it comes out like this, nice and beautiful and golden. Cut yourself off a piece while it's still hot. You want to get it nice and steamy. See how spongy that is with the nuts running through the middle. Get it on a plate, give it a little wobble, top it with some more cajeta, because you can never have enough cajeta. Look at it, nice and slow motion. There's another one for you, just look how good that looks. And then bite it into it. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the best, most simplest things that I've ever made. It's incredible. Like, I could eat this all day long. It's so good. I cannot recommend trying this recipe enough. Seriously, you want to try this one. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you like this video. I'll see you in the next one, and remember to just keep cooking.